Welcome along. You are with the Sable Society here with Maree. I better move that over so you can hear me. And if you are here, it's because you're a Sable, which means that you have stash acquired beyond your life expectancy, but that's okay because you're amongst friends. Welcome along. And if you have been following the Sable Society, you will know the last little bit. What I've been talking about is Knit Australia Nights. Registration for that opened on Valentine's Day. I spoke to my enabler in crime, I will call her, Catherine Trippett from the Australian Wool Store last time. And joining me now, also from Australia, is Kathy Vasic, who is one of our fantastic tutors at the event. And you are bringing the C word to a knit event, Kathy, aren't you?
I am, but I also happen to be bisexual, but crochet is my favourite.
And I think
So
it's
yeah.
great too. It's always good to, I think, to have other sort of other disciplines. And what I pulling this event together, I was shocked, like how many different things that we're pulling together in terms of stitching and crafting. And
Mhm.
I actually got so excited because I think for those that people are not pigeonholing themselves anymore, are they? They
No,
are trying different things.
absolutely. And I actually love to join the two together. I've just been working on this one, which has got both knitted and crochet in it. So, like I said, I'm bisexual and I just happen to, I'm a bit impatient. I think crochet is a little bit faster for me.
So let's talk about that because how did you get into crochet? When did your crochet journey start?
Okay, I learnt to knit when I was about 10, so we're going over 50 years ago now. I learnt to knit then, and the place where I learnt to knit was a haberdashery, and they had crochet there as well. And I looked at it, I thought, oh, I like that a little bit better. That goes a bit faster. So I actually started then, and I'd crocheted my children's layettes and all of those wonderful things you did, and then life got in the way. Um, and but I always had crochet there with me all through my life. I've had crochet and knit. And I always just used to make up my own things. And then I thought, why am I not sharing this with everyone else? I'd go and do markets and you'd try and sell what you've made. And people say, oh, can you make that in a different colour? And I'm thinking to myself, all the time that I've put into doing this. So I thought, no, I'm just going to start writing the patterns and you can make them. So that's what I started doing. And I absolutely love it. Love the
Mm.
freedom it gives me. Love the way that I'm able to express some artistic values in what I do as well. So I really do love it. I love it for
Mm.
the mental health benefits as well.
Mm.
Any
Well, you
type of craft that you can do like that when you can relax your mind is beautiful.
you mentioned before too, crochet is a lot faster for you, but I think crochet is quicker in general, isn't it?
Is what? Sorry.
It's
Oh,
faster and
absolutely.
quicker.
It is quicker. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you've got the height of the stitches too. So you've got
Mm.
your different types of stitches and you get your different heights. So your work naturally grows bigger anyway. Um, but then with the waistcoat stitch that I do have to be very patient with that because that grows the same height as knitting does. Um, but I love what I can achieve with that. So
Mm.
I'm really excited to be able to share that with everyone at Bendigo.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that is one of the two classes that you're going to be doing, and that
Right?
waistcoat stitch. I mean, if you were to look at it at first glance, you would think it was knitting.
Oh, I go to markets with Catherine from the Australian Wool
Mm.
Store, and I can't begin to tell you the amount of arguments I have had with both knitters and crocheters about whether or not it's knitted or crochet. And I have knitters stand up with me and say, no, it's knitted. And I said, look, I actually designed it, it's actually crochet. But you're right. When you
Mm.
look at it, you look at the stitch and you would actually swear that it was knitted. Um, so this is one of the things that I did based on the Musselburgh beanie. You know, the one
Hmm.
that goes inside out. Well,
Hmm.
I did the crocheted version of it. So
Yeah. So, what
and
is the
you're
advantage of
right, I
doing
do.
what?
People say
Yeah,
no, it's knitted.
what's the advantage of doing waistcoat stitch in crochet instead of actually doing it as knitted? I mean, other than the fact that maybe if you're a crochet and you don't want to learn how to knit, is there other advantages there? I mean, for people if they're wanting to test that out?
The patterns that I design, you can actually use them for knitting as well. So this is another one that I'm working on at the moment. It's going to have dogs and sheep and alpacas on it. Advantages, there are a lot of people that just don't know how to knit. They have that knitted look. For me, I just love doing it and I love creating with it. Every now and again, I'll pick up my needles and try and do the same thing. I just can't achieve the same look with my needles, probably because I haven't done it as much. But as for advantages, I think for me, it's just being able to create the different patterns and styles. For other people, some people find it quite challenging. And then some people, once they pick it up, they realise I can't knit, but I can create my own patterns using this stitch. And getting that same knitted look, like that lovely Fair Isle look where you've got all of those beautiful different colours coming through, like this one here. I'll see if I can get that a bit closer. This one here is actually 2-ply. And you can see that it's got the 4 different colours going through here.
Yeah.
This is the top, so it's a top-down jumper that I'm working on. And I'm just loving the way that it's coming together.
Yeah,
For me, I just love to crochet and I love to use that stitch. So I love to be able to.
So if you're someone like me who knows the absolute basic stitches, you know, slip stitches, scrab stitch, double crochet, treble crochet, in the old terminology, not the Americans, you know, because they do everything differently. Could I come along and learn waistcoat stitch? I mean, I'm the queen of the granny square, Kathy. So could I come along and do waistcoat stitch?
Waistcoat stitch is just a double crochet UK terms, double crochet, but the placement of your hook is in between the V, not in the top of the loop. So that's the only stitch that it is. All it is your double crochet stitch or single crochet, and it's just where your hook is placed. That's the only difference that it is. And when I found it, I thought, oh, I love this. And there are so many different. You can do your granny squares in it. You can do baskets in it, and there's just so much. It's great working in the round. But you can also go backwards and forwards. You just get a slightly different look with the backwards and forwards. But the working in the round is just fabulous, especially for beanies and cowls and your jumpers and things like that. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. I really, really enjoy it.
Yeah. So then that's ideal. Like, so for someone is looking at this and thinking, oh, I didn't actually book anything in the evenings, because both of your classes are in the evenings, because we wanted something that was sort of nice and unwinding and relaxing for people. This actually sounds like quite a bit of fun.
Absolutely, it really is. It really is. And I've got a design in mind of what I want to create for Bendigo, being around sheep and alpaca and things like that. So I've got a design in mind of what I want to put together for Bendigo. So I'm still working on that at the moment, but it is going to be a lot of fun. It's not going to be a very big project, although you will get the pattern that you can make the bigger project. But that is, and working a lot with Catherine's yarn too. It just flows through your fingers so beautifully that as you're going along, it's just so smooth and easy to use. And there are a lot of tips and tricks that go along with waistcoat stitch, and you have to make sure you adhere to those, otherwise you'll get yourself in a real pickle.
Yeah, but there's always those sorts of things that we need to do.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. Now, the purple shawl with the tassels on it that you've got next to you, is that a really good example of the assigned colour pooling that you've got for your other class?
It is. So this was one I designed last year. It's called Whispering Petal, and the assigned pooling, it's completely random. So it's not like planned pooling where you've got to make sure you count your stitches and you've got your plan in place. The assigned pooling yarn is completely different. It's dyed differently, so the colours actually fall differently. There's no front or back. no matter which way you're going, you create that little pop of colour there. So again, the assigned pooling is fantastic because the colour placement is random. So no two pieces of clothing or whatever you're going to make with it are going to fall in the same, are going to look the same because the randomness of the yarn. This one's actually, I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually got tiny little gorgeous beads in it as well.
Lovely.
And I always make my tassels really special. So. And I always do my tassels so they can be removed. So when you wash them, they don't go fluffy.
Ah, that is so clever. Because
Yes.
that's always one of the things I've got a knitted huge big shawl that I made years ago, and it's got tassels on it, and the tassels are getting a bit grubby. And of course, some of the tassels are white, Kathy, and I keep looking at, of course they are, cream, and I keep looking at thinking, oh, these are filthy. How on earth am I going to manage that? See, if I'd had removable tassels, that wouldn't have been a problem.
Well, when I first started doing shawls and putting tassels on them, and I thought, I know what they're going to look like when I wash them, no matter how careful you are. So I thought, no, bugger, I'm going to make them removable so we can be really careful if they do need a wash, but they won't get damaged. So that's what I just started doing. And I thought, oh, let's add some pretty beads and some sparkle to it.
And it means you can add some bling to it. Exactly. Exactly. So it makes perfect sense. And the jacket, the beautiful jacket that you've got next to you, which looks very haute couture to me. I mean, that almost has a very sort of Parisienne style to it. That's stunning. How's that worked?
This is Granny Squares, and this is still in the process of being written, this one. This is Catherine's yarn in a colour melt. So it starts out with the darker and it comes down to the lighter colours. The Granny Squares, they're joined together, but the shape is not your typical shape. You've got your arm coming down like that, and then you've just got your sleeve coming straight out like this. It's not finished yet. We need to do the border of it, but I am so pleased. Being a bigger girl, it's actually quite short, but I really love it when I've got it on. Once I've got it on and got that border finished, it's just going to be so beautiful. So, I'm really looking forward to finishing this one off.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. And it's interesting with that arm. So I knitted the Nanilchik Swancho from Caitlin Hunter several years ago, and it's got a similar so it's knitted obviously top down in the round, but it's got the arms are a bit the same. And I was really concerned because if you know Caitlin Hunter's designs, this particular design is a bit of an outlier to what she normally does. She often has these sort of more geometric, or I mean, she's got fish sort of prints, and then this one was quite different. And I knitted it, and I was really worried because I'm a bigger girl too. And I was really, really worried that I'd be a bit like T-Rex. You know?
That's what I was concerned about.
I was like, I'm not going to be like T-Rex here. But I wasn't. And it's so comfortable to wear. And it was so flattering.
Yes.
That's what I couldn't get over. And it was like, oh, this is really wearable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to finishing this off and getting the pattern out there to be tested. But I also love the way the sleeves have come together. Rather than having a basking for the sleeves are just going to have a lovely point like a diamond point on the end of them. So that in itself, I think, is going to be just a little bit of a point of difference. And I'd love to do it again in a plain colour, but this is what I thought I'd do it with first to see how it came out. And I do. I'm really, really happy with how it's come together.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, it's completely different. So.
I'm looking at that thinking that if you had a really beautiful cream yarn, I mean, that you could almost have that for a winter bride, couldn't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it would be perfect for that. And because it's constructed with granny squares, it's just going to be a matter of reducing the amount of granny squares to construct your sizing. So this I've done in an extra large. So when the time comes for testing, I'm just going to work out how many granny squares we need to reduce it by. It took me 8 hours to sew in all of the ends on the granny square. But it's also put together with the join as you go method. So they're not stitched together. they're joined together as you go, which gives you that beautiful lace effect as well. So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
no, that's
I'm really
absolutely
looking forward to
gorgeous.
finishing this thing.
If you had one thing, like if like so for example, at the moment I'm right in the middle of a hat jag. I've emptied my nest of children. And so I sent our youngest son who's just gone to university, which is in Christchurch, which is a colder part of the country. So I sent him down there with beanies for all his friends that were going
Yeah,
there. And then I just sort of kind of kept going. Keep going. And I have, when I finished up at Skeins, I had lots of, and I've got literally sitting right there, old suitcases full of little bits and bobs of yarn. So lots of
yeah.
sample balls and trial balls
Hmm.
and color. We used to keep like a color range of one ball of everything, reference balls, we called them. I've got all of that kind of stuff. And so I've been making hats. Ooh, because I don't like wasting anything. I think it's
I'm
us
the
ladies of a
same.
certain age. Yeah,
But you know,
waste
I'll
doesn't
keep that.
work for us.
I'll use that for something later on.
I know, which is why I'm the queen of the granny square, because traditionally I make what I call the world's largest scrappy blanket, granny square scrappy blankets, and and it's just a great way. I hate waste. So like this is what I've got. This is the current one,
Yep,
and it's
beautiful.
just literally using weird as
Yeah.
bits that yeah. And so what for you from a crochet perspective is that thing that isn't like the big grand design, but is that one thing where you think, oh, it's so good to get that used up, you feel really good about it.
Um, you know, doing little cowls and things like that. I'm doing this workshop in Adelaide this weekend.
Yeah.
Right. So
Oh, I love that.
doing little cowls and things like that, where you don't need a great deal of yarn to. You could just do this with your scraps, because imagine the colours you could come up
Yeah.
with if you did a design like that. So um, using up all my scraps and things like that. These are fantastic little ones, and even doing your beanies, because
Mm.
you've got your beanies and I want some colour. Let's do some colour. So away we go and just use things like that. Also with the things like this, I always keep my um, like the whites and the blacks. I always keep all the scraps, because for things like this, they're perfect.
Mm.
So
Do you
that's
want to
what
flip that
I.
Kathy, can you flip that cowl inside out for me, because I'm dying to see what it looks like on the inside, because crochet is quite different to. Oh, so it does. So it looks. So it's you float. Do your floats and
Do float.
crochets.
Yep, and I grab them if they're long floats. I just grab them um, maybe every 3 or 4 stitches. So yeah, it is, and it's not until people actually turn it over. What have I got here? Oh, this one's, so this is another
I
one.
love that. Yeah.
But it's not until you actually turn it over and parts where there's no floats that knitters can really see the difference of what crochet looks like.
Right,
So
because you can actually float. You can in knitting, you've got to float horizontally from right to left, but in
yeah,
crochet, you can float vertically, can't you?
absolutely. Yep. So
Ah,
you're taking it along, and as it's going, you just grab one and away you go. If I find I've got
right.
long spaces, I will just use stranded. So I'll just make sure I've got enough yarn to get me through what I need to get through for that particular space. But I love keeping my scraps, because I know that I'm always going to find something to
Mm.
use them with. Um, but I'm blessed to have Catherine, because as soon as she comes up with a new colour, she says, "Here, go away and play with this." Oh, okay. So, and it's amazing having that
Mm.
relationship with Catherine, because her yarn is exquisite.
It's
Um,
beautiful.
and then I design something, and she loves all of my designs. So then we just go away together and have a ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward to how things sort of are progressing. And I was just saying to Kathy before we got started, the numbers are looking fantastic. I'm just so humble. So if you're listening to this and you have registered for Knit Australia Nights, thank you so much for getting your registration in. And if you are also registered and you want to sort of convince some friends to come along with you, share this content with them, share the website with them. I'm really getting so excited about that, because I'm going away with Lisa and Libby. The three of us are traveling together. We've got a week away and we just can't wait. We've got the 3 days of Knit Australia Nights, then we've got a couple of days to fill in between, which once I get a feel for where things are at with that, I may organise a few bits and pieces of that people can tag along with us, essentially. And then we're going to attend the Australian Sheep and Wool Show on the Friday before we head back
Mhm.
to Melbourne on Friday night. So yeah, we can't wait. It's really
We're
exciting.
really excited. We've got a lot on between now and then, but we're really excited. So,
Yeah, it was so funny with Catherine when I spoke to her last time because she came to Knit August Nights in 2019. And then, of course, the
yeah.
COVID years happened, which threw a spanner in everyone's works. And then she was there again last year and she finally admitted on the last episode of Sable here, oh, she said, my sole intention of coming was to convince you to bring this to Australia. She's a wily woman, the Trippet, I've discovered.
And she's a remarkable woman. She certainly is.
Oh,
I
no,
think we are very lucky to have her in our lives.
yeah, no, she's just wonderful. And so, again, if you're wanting to take a look at some of the classes, including what Kathy is doing, knitaustralianights.com is the website. And there's a page there with classes with Kathy at the top. So just click on that and that outlines those classes there, plus the classes with Catherine. We still have a few spaces left with Libby and Lisa, but their classes are a number have sold out and are selling out very fast. In fact, some of Catherine's have sold out too. So do make sure that you do, if you are sort of on the fence a little bit and you're not too sure, and don't be doing the thing they do in some places. Think, oh, I'll do it closer to the time because you may miss out. So
Yes, I've
especially if
done that.
yeah, especially if you're within driving distance in Victoria as well. So if you're a
Absolutely.
Victorian local, and there's something there that really catches your eye, I
Mhm.
would be making sure you get your registrations in sooner rather than later. Is there anything else that you want to share that you're up to in terms of where people can find your designs, Kathy, and any teaching you've got happening between now and then? Because that
I
people
am
can find out about.
I'm called Driftwood Cottage Designs on Ravelry. I have a workshop in Adelaide this weekend that I think is booked out. Uh, I am all over the place with Catherine in Queensland and Canberra at the different markets that we're going to. I am in Yarn Me Calm and the Bellarine Peninsula. I'll be doing 2 workshops down there in April. Then I am at the Crochet Convention in Wollongong, which is extraordinary. We'll have 52 different workshops there over 3 days, and there's going to be a great big 3 day market there as well. So I'll be doing some workshops there as well. And then we're off to, actually, that's before Bendigo. So, yeah, so then we're off to Bendigo. So, yes, it's a very busy year for us, and I've got lots of new designs coming out this year. I've got a secret squirrel one that I'm working on at the moment that is released in April. So a lot of people have actually signed up for that. That's through Crochet Australia up in Queensland. And yeah, it's going to be a very busy year. My husband says to me, how many times are you going away? Just a few, darling.
Yeah, but it's fun though, isn't it?
So
And,
yeah, I'm really
that's
looking forward to meeting everyone
yeah.
soon.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it too.
Yeah.
Hey, look, so this has been Kathy Vasic, Driftwood Cottage Designs on Ravelry, if you want to go and check out some of Catherine's designs. And as I said, if you want to register and join in the fun for Knit Australia Nights, that is knitaustralianights.com. Nice and easy to find us. And the link to registration is right there. Hey, Kathy, thanks for joining us today on the Sable Society.
Thank you. See you.